The emergency room doors burst open at 2:47 a.m., and Serafina Brooks didn't flinch. 15 years as a night shift nurse at San Francisco General had taught her that chaos was just another Tuesday, but when the gurney rolled past her station, surrounded by men in expensive suits with blood on their hands, something in her chest constricted. The man on the stretcher was unconscious, his perfectly tailored shirt soaked crimson. Dark hair fell across a face that was somehow both brutal and beautiful. She caught a glimpse of ink on his neck, Korean characters written vertically in delicate script. Gunshot wound, upper chest, the paramedic rattled off. Lost a lot of blood. Serafina's training kicked in immediately. She grabbed supplies, her hands already moving with practiced efficiency, but as she cut away his shirt and pressed gauze to the wound, the man's eyes fluttered open. Dark, intense, and impossibly familiar. Those eyes. She knew those eyes. "Sarah?" His voice was barely a whisper, thick with pain and disbelief. "Is it really you?" Her hands froze. That voice, that name. No one had called her that in 15 years. "Junwoo?" His hand shot up, gripping her wrist. "I never stopped looking for you. 15 years. I never stopped." Then his eyes rolled back, and the monitors screamed. Serafina Brooks had long ago accepted that some chapters of life stayed closed. The naive 22-year-old who'd fallen in love with a beautiful lie was gone, buried under student loans, double shifts, and the hard-earned wisdom that came from surviving on your own. At 37, she'd built a good life from the ashes, small apartment in the Tenderloin, bills paid on time, respect from her colleagues. Her dark brown skin showed the faint lines of a woman who'd lived, and her natural hair, a crown of tight coils she wore pulled back in a practical bun, had threads of silver she'd earned through sheer resilience. She was content, or at least she'd convinced herself she was, until Kim Junwoo crashed back into her life bleeding and barely conscious. The next 2 hours were a blur of surgery and controlled chaos. Serafina worked with mechanical precision, keeping the man who'd haunted her dreams from slipping away. When they finally wheeled him to recovery, Dr. Martinez pulled her aside. "Those men out there? They're not leaving. I need you to handle this." Dr. Martinez lowered his voice. "I know you don't scare easily, but be careful." Serafina found Junwoo's men in the waiting room, 4 of them, all wearing $1,000 suits and expressions that could freeze blood. The one who stood was tall, with sharp features and assessing eyes. "How is he?" His English was perfect. "Stable. The bullet missed major arteries, but he needs rest. We'll arrange a private room." "That's not how hospitals work." "Ms. Brooks." The man stepped closer. "We appreciate your care, but Mr. Kim requires specialized security. Mr. Kim requires medical attention." She refused to retreat. "If you want to help him, let us do our job." For a long moment, they stared at each other. Then the man's expression softened slightly. "He spoke your name in the ambulance. For 15 years I've wondered who Sarah was." Something in Serafina's chest cracked. That was a lifetime ago, perhaps. But he never forgot. The man extended his hand. "Park Ji-hoon, I'm an associate of Junwoo's. I need to check on him, alone." Ji-hoon studied her, then nodded. 5 minutes. The recovery room was dim, machines beeping steadily. Junwoo looked diminished by the hospital bed and IV lines, but even unconscious, there was something commanding about him. The sharp line of his jaw, the way his dark hair fell across his forehead, the ink on his neck that read Yongwon and Sarang in delicate vertical script. Eternal love. She'd been so stupid. "You have no right to come back like this," she whispered, checking his vitals with trembling hands. "No right to look at me like you've been searching. You left, Junwoo. You promised forever and you left." His hand twitched, eyes opening, unfocused but aware. "Sarah, you're still here. I'm your nurse. I'm doing my job." "You're angry." A ghost of a smile touched his lips. "You should be. You deserve nothing from me." But she was adjusting his pillow, her touch gentle despite her words. "I know, but I'm asking anyway." His eyes locked on hers. "Please, let me explain why you disappeared without a word. Why I waited 3 days thinking you were dead before accepting you'd just left." Her voice cracked. "There's no explanation that matters anymore." His hand shot out, fingers wrapping around her wrist. "I left to keep you alive." The machines beeped faster. Serafina forced herself to stay calm. "Let me go. They were going to kill you. My uncle, the organization. They saw you as weakness. The only way to keep you safe was to make them think you meant nothing. Well, congratulations, you were very convincing. Sarah, that's not my name anymore. Not to you." She pulled free. "You need to rest. And when you're recovered, you need to leave my hospital and my life." She was at the door when he spoke again, so quietly she almost didn't hear. "I thought about you every day, every single day for 15 years. Serafina's hand tightened on the door handle. "And did I find that normal life? I don't know, that's the hell of it. I don't know anything about you anymore." She turned, meeting his gaze. "I'm 37 years old. I work 60-hour weeks. I live alone in a 5th-floor walk-up. I haven't been on a date in 3 years because every man I compare to a ghost, and they all come up short. That's the normal life I found." His eyes darkened with something that looked like pain and satisfaction mixed together. "You didn't marry. Is that what you wanted?" "No, God help me, no. You don't get to be glad about anything in my life." But her traitorous heart was racing. "I know, but I am anyway." He shifted, wincing. "The men who shot me, they're connected to the same people who threatened you 15 years ago, and the first place I wanted to come, even dying, was anywhere you might be." The heart monitor spiked. Serafina moved to check his readings. "Your heart rate is too high. Tell me to leave." His eyes tracked her every movement. "Tell me you hate me, that you never want to see me again. Tell me and I'll disappear." The lie should have been easy. After 15 years, it should have been the easiest thing in the world. But when she opened her mouth, what came out was, "I can't." "Can't what?" "Tell you I hate you." She finally looked at him. "I tried for 15 years, and I can't." The door burst open, and Ji-hoon strode in, expression urgent. "We have a problem. The Han family knows he's here." Junwoo's demeanor changed instantly, from vulnerable to lethal. "How many?" "Unknown, but they'll come tonight." "No." Serafina stepped between them and the bed. "He's not stable enough to move. If he stays, he dies anyway," Ji-hoon said flatly. Serafina looked at Junwoo, whose face had gone carefully blank. "There's another way. Transfer him to the secure wing. Locked down, limited access, different name on records." Ji-hoon's eyes narrowed. "Why would you help us?" "Because I took an oath to protect my patients, all of them, even idiotic criminals who get themselves shot." Junwoo's laugh was short, but genuine. She always did have a sharp tongue. "I'll arrange it," Ji-hoon said. "But Ms. Brooks, if you're lying, then you'll kill me." "I get it." Serafina's voice was steady. "But right now, I'm the only chance he has." Ji-hoon looked at Junwoo, who nodded. "She won't betray us. She never has." After Ji-hoon left, Serafina began preparing for the transfer. She was aware of Junwoo watching her. "Why? After everything, why help me?" She didn't look at him. "Maybe I'm hoping you'll owe me enough to finally tell me the truth." "I'll tell you everything." "But Sarah..." He waited until she met his eyes. "The truth won't make this easier." "Good. Because easy is boring. And apparently, I have terrible taste in complicated." The transfer happened swiftly. By the time Junwoo was settled in the secure wing, dawn was breaking over San Francisco. Serafina's shift was over, but she couldn't bring herself to leave. She stood at the window, watching the city wake up. "You should go home." Junwoo's voice was stronger now. "I should do a lot of things." She didn't turn around. "But apparently I'm making terrible decisions today." "Sarah, my shift ends in 10 minutes, and then I'm coming back as your assigned nurse. And you're going to tell me everything. And then? And then I'll decide if saving your life was the biggest mistake I've ever made, or..." She trailed off. Or if maybe some part of that stupid girl who loved you is still alive after all." The sun broke through the window. Junwoo extended his hand, palm up. Serafina looked at it for a long moment. 15 years of healing and building walls and convincing herself she was over him. She took his hand. And somewhere in San Francisco, word began to spread. The Black Queen was back. Serafina went home to her cramped apartment and stared at herself in the mirror, searching for signs of the girl who'd once believed in forever. She found only tired eyes and the wisdom of a woman who'd learned that forever was just another lie. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. "This is Ji-hoon. Mr. Kim has requested you specifically for his care. Your shift begins at 2 p.m. She should be angry at the casual display of power. Instead, she felt something dangerous unfurling in her chest. "I'll be there." She tried to sleep. Failed. At noon, she gave up and made breakfast she barely tasted. When Serafina arrived at 1:45 p.m., she found Ji-hoon waiting with another man, younger with softer features but the same dangerous edge. "Ms. Brooks," Ji-hoon's nod was almost respectful. "This is Lee Tae-yang. He'll be coordinating your security." "Security for what?" "For you. The moment word spread that you were helping Mr. Kim, you became a target. I don't need a babysitter. You need to stay alive." Junwoo's voice came from inside the room. And if that requires Tai Yang following you around, that's what's happening. Serafina pushed past Ji-hoon. Junwoo was sitting up, no longer deathly pale. You don't get to make decisions about my life. I'm making decisions about mine. And my life doesn't work if you're not in it. And safe. That's not how this works. They found my apartment last night. Went through everything, every photo I'd kept hidden, every piece of information about you that I'd spent 15 years collecting. The blood drained from her face. What information? Where you work, where you live, your daily routines. He paused. They know everything now, which means you're no longer just a ghost from my past. You're a target. Serafina sank into the chair. Who are they? The Han family. Rival organization trying to take over our territory for 2 decades. 15 years ago they threatened you to get to me. Now they know you're back, and they'll use you as leverage. So this is my life now, looking over my shoulder. No. This is your life until I end them, which I will. I didn't ask for your protection. I don't care. He leaned forward. 15 years ago, I walked away to keep you safe. I won't make that mistake again. What mistake? Leaving or caring? Leaving. His hand reached for hers. I should have fought for you then. Instead, I let you think I didn't love you, and I've hated myself for it every day since. You destroyed me. I know. I waited for you. 3 days. Thinking maybe you'd been in an accident, and then your phone was disconnected and the landlord said you'd paid through the month and disappeared. I had to make it clean. If they thought you mattered, they'd have killed you. So you made me think I didn't matter at all. The words came out broken. Do you have any idea what that did to me? Junwoo's grip tightened. I watched you from a distance. The first year was the worst. Seeing you cry yourself to sleep, watching you barely eat, seeing you try to hold yourself together. His voice cracked. I wanted to come back so badly, but I couldn't. Not while my uncle was alive and the threat was real. Your uncle? The man who raised me after my parents died. The man who ran the organization before me. He ordered your death. Said you were making me weak, that I couldn't lead if I was distracted. And you listened to him? I pretended to. Broke your heart to save your life. And then I spent the next 10 years building my power until I was strong enough to challenge him. His eyes met hers. I killed him 3 years ago. The words should have shocked her. Instead, she heard herself ask, did it help? No, because you were still gone, and I didn't know if I'd ever find you again. I had power, money, control, everything he said I needed, and none of it mattered because I didn't have you. Serafina stood, needing distance. She walked to the window. I need time to process this. Take all the time you need, but take it with Tai Yang watching your back. Please, Sarah. She turned to find him standing, shouldn't be standing, just inches away. I loved you, he whispered. Love you. Never stopped. And I know I don't deserve a second chance, but I'm asking anyway. You should be in bed. You're going to reopen your stitches. Worth it. This moment is worth anything. The door opened, and Dr. Martinez walked in. Am I interrupting? Serafina stepped back. Mr. Kim was trying to get up against medical advice. Because my nurse won't let me protect her properly, Junwoo added. Dr. Martinez looked between them. Well, Mr. Kim, if you want to protect anyone, you need to heal first. Back in bed. With her help, he made his way back. When they were alone again, Junwoo caught her hand. Stay, please. Even if you hate me, just stay while I sleep. I've spent 15 years not knowing if you were safe. Let me have this. She should say no. Should protect what was left of her heart. Instead, she pulled a chair beside his bed. 1 hour. His smile was soft, vulnerable. 1 hour with you is more than I've had in 15 years. He fell asleep, holding her hand. Serafina watched him, memorizing the lines of his face. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Pretty nurse. We know where you live. We know you matter to him. Tell Kim Junwoo his time is up. Her blood ran cold. She looked up to find Tai Yang at the door, expression grim. They've made contact. Serafina showed him the phone. Tai Yang immediately made a call in rapid Korean. Junwoo's eyes opened, instantly alert. What happened? They texted me. Threats. His expression went from concerned to lethal. Show me. She handed him the phone. He showed it to Ji-hoon, who'd appeared at the door. Trace it. Find them. And prepare to move Sarah to the safe house. No. Serafina stood. I'm not going to any safe house. I have a job, a life they just threatened. Everything about us is negotiable. You don't own me. Then what do you suggest? Wait until they grab you off the street. I suggest we find another way, one that doesn't involve me hiding. There is no other way. Then make one. She leaned in. You spent 15 years building power, right? Use it. But don't make me disappear from my own life. I already did that once, because of you. The room was silent. Finally, Junwoo spoke. What do you propose? Protection, yes. But I keep working. Keep living my life. They want to use me as leverage. Let them try. But I do it on my terms. Something shifted in his expression. You're either incredibly brave or incredibly reckless. Maybe both. After all, I'm standing here agreeing to let Mafia guards follow me around instead of running. Ji-hoon made a sound that might have been a laugh. Fine, Junwoo said. We do it your way. But there are conditions. Of course there are. Tae-yang stays with you at all times outside the hospital. Inside we'll have people positioned. You don't go anywhere without checking in. And if I say the situation has changed, you don't argue. Deal. As long as you promise something too. What? You tell me everything. The whole truth about what happened 15 years ago. About your organization, about the Han family, about every dark corner you kept hidden. His hand engulfed hers. Everything. I promise. Then we have an agreement. They shook, and Serafina felt the weight of what she'd just committed to settling over her. At 10 p.m., she returned to check on him one last time. She found him awake, staring at the ceiling. Can't sleep? Thinking about how to keep you safe while respecting your independence, it's difficult. Welcome to modern relationships, where people are partners, not possessions. Is that what we are? Partners? The question hung in the air. Serafina set down her clipboard. I don't know what we are. We were everything once, then we were nothing. Now we're something undefined that probably shouldn't exist but does anyway. I'll take undefined over nothing. You'll take what I give you. And right now what I'm giving you is medical care and a chance to earn back my trust. Everything else, we'll see. He caught her hand. Sarah, thank you. For not running. Don't thank me yet. I might still come to my senses. You won't. How can you be so sure? Because I know you. The woman who became a trauma nurse doesn't run from difficulty. She faces it head-on, even when it scares her. Maybe especially when it scares me. 15 years ago, I ran because I had no choice. This time, I'm choosing to stay. Nothing worth having ever is easy. She wanted to argue, but exhaustion was catching up. I'm going home. Tae-yang is waiting. He is. And Sarah, sleep well. Tomorrow, I start telling you everything. She nodded and left, finding Tae-yang waiting. The young man fell into step beside her. This is my life now. A shadow wherever I go. Until the threat is eliminated. I'll be as unobtrusive as possible. When they reached her building, Tae-yang did a thorough sweep. Finding nothing, he positioned himself outside her door. I'll be here all night. Inside, she locked the door and leaned against it, finally allowing herself to feel the weight of the day. Her phone buzzed. Another unknown number. Sleep tight, pretty nurse. We'll be seeing you soon. Serafina's hands shook as she screenshot it and sent it to Ji-hoon. Within seconds, her phone rang. Pack a bag. Tae-yang will bring you to the safe house. No, they want me scared. I won't give them that. Ms. Brooks, tell Junwoo I'm staying put. If he has a problem with that, he can tell me himself tomorrow. She ended the call. 30 seconds later, her phone rang again. Junwoo. Sarah, please, be reasonable. I am being reasonable. Running teaches them I'm an easy target. Staying shows I'm not afraid. Even if you should be? Especially then. You said you wanted to prove you're not a coward anymore. This is my chance to prove the same thing. Silence. Finally. Tae-yang stays at your door, and I'm sending 2 more men to watch the building. Fine. And Sarah? If anything happens, anything at all, you call me immediately. I will. I mean it. I can't lose you again. I won't survive it. The vulnerability in his words cracked something in her chest. You won't lose me. Not to them. But maybe to your own good judgment. That's still up for debate. Get some rest, Junwoo. Tomorrow you owe me some answers. Tomorrow and every day after. Good night, Sarah. She ended the call and stood at the window for a long time, watching the city lights blur through tears she hadn't realized she was crying. 15 years of building walls. And now, in less than 48 hours, those walls were crumbling. She wasn't sure if she was terrified or relieved. Maybe both. Serafina woke to sunlight and the smell of coffee. For a moment she was disoriented. She never made coffee before her alarm. Then she remembered. She wasn't alone anymore. She found Tae-yang in her kitchen with coffee and pastries from her favorite bakery. How did you... Mr. Kim provided a list of your preferences. Serafina took the coffee, too tired to be annoyed. They're fine, thank you. Her phone showed 3 missed calls from the hospital. A water main break had flooded part of the ER, and they were short-staffed. I need to go in, emergency. I'll drive you. 20 minutes later, She was at the hospital, diving into controlled chaos. 3 hours passed before she had a moment to breathe. When she finally got to Junwoo's room at noon, she found him dressed in expensive clothes, sitting on the bed looking far too healthy for a man who'd been shot less than 48 hours ago. "You're supposed to be resting." "I'm supposed to be dead. Resting seems excessive. Your body needs time to heal." "My body has healed enough. Besides, I have more important things to do than lie in a hospital bed." "Like what?" "Like keeping the promise I made you." He gestured to the chair. "Sit. I'm going to tell you everything, and you're not going to like most of it." Serafina sat. Junwoo remained standing. 15 years ago, I was 25 and stupid. I thought love was enough. Thought I could have both worlds, you and the organization. My uncle saw things differently. Your uncle who you killed. Kim Dae-sung. He raised me after my parents died when I was 12, taught me everything about the business. He also taught me that weakness gets you killed, and in his eyes, loving you made me weak. How did he even know about me? I told him. Like an idiot, I told him I'd met someone, that I was thinking about leaving. I actually thought he'd understand. What did he do? Gave me a choice, you or the organization. Said if I chose you, he'd have you killed as a lesson. And if I stayed, I had to cut you off completely. Make you think I'd never cared. Serafina's throat tightened. So you chose. I chose your life over my happiness. Every time, Sarah, your life comes first. He finally met her eyes. But I was a coward. Instead of fighting him then, I took the path of least resistance. Broke your heart to save your life and told myself it was noble. It wasn't noble, it was devastating. I know. He moved closer, crouching in front of her chair, and I spent the next 10 years building my power, making alliances, learning everything I needed to challenge my uncle. When I finally moved against him, it wasn't clean or quick. It was brutal and necessary. You said you shot him. In the head, in front of the entire organization. Made it clear that anyone who had a problem with my leadership could follow him. Did anyone challenge you? 2 men. I killed them both. He searched her face. Does that frighten you? She should say yes, but looking into his eyes, she saw not a monster, but a man who'd done monstrous things for reasons she was starting to understand. It should. But I've worked trauma for 15 years. I've seen what violence does, and I've learned that the world isn't black and white. Everyone's just trying to survive. I'm not a good person. Maybe not by traditional standards, but you protected me. You suffered for years to keep me safe. That counts for something. It counts for nothing if I've just put you in danger again. His jaw clenched. The Han family knows about you now. They're going to use you as leverage. Then what do? I end them. But that takes time, and in the meantime, you're vulnerable. So we're back to the safe house discussion. No. We're back to giving you a choice. A real choice, not the one I made for you 15 years ago. Serafina stood. What choice? Stay or go? If you want to walk away, I'll arrange protection until the Han family is eliminated. You'll never see me again, but you'll be safe. Or you stay. You let me back into your life. But if you stay, you're choosing this world. All of it. The danger, the violence, the reality of who I am. That's not much of a choice. It's the only honest one I can give you. His hand came up slowly. When she didn't move away, he cupped her face. I want you to stay. God, I want it more than anything. But I won't manipulate you, won't hide what staying means. She closed her eyes, leaning into his touch. You're asking me to choose you knowing it might get me killed. I'm asking you to choose yourself. What you want, regardless of the cost. What do you want, Sarah? What did she want? Safety, stability, the quiet life she'd built. But also him, the way he looked at her like she was his entire world. I want to stop being afraid. I've been afraid for 15 years. Afraid of getting hurt again. Afraid of trusting. Afraid of wanting too much. And I'm tired of it. That's not an answer. Yes, it is. I'm choosing to stay. To be terrified and stay anyway. Because the alternative is running. And I've been running from you in my heart for long enough. The emotion that crossed his face was devastating. Relief and joy and pain all mixed together. You're sure? No, but I'm doing it anyway. He pulled her in slowly. When she didn't resist, his arms wrapped around her, and Serafina found herself pressed against his chest, feeling his heartbeat thundering beneath her cheek. I'll keep you safe, whatever it takes. Don't make promises you can't keep. I'm not. Keeping you safe isn't a promise, Sarah. It's a fact. I would burn down all of San Francisco if that's what it took. The possessive intensity should have been frightening. Instead, it made something in her chest unfurl. That's excessive. That's love. At least, the way I love. Excessive, possessive, and probably unhealthy. Probably, definitely. And yet you're staying. And yet I'm staying. She stepped back. But I have conditions. Of course you do. Honesty. Complete honesty from now on. No more secrets, no more decisions made for my own good without consulting me. We're partners or we're nothing. Partners. I can do that. And I keep working. Keep living my life as normally as possible. Your protection, yes, but not your control. That's going to be difficult. Most worthwhile things are. He laughed. Using my own words against me. I've missed that sharp tongue. Get used to it. I'm not the naive girl you left behind. I'm a woman who survived trauma, tragedy, and heartbreak. I'm not easy to manage. Good. Easy was never interesting. You, Sarah, have always been the most interesting thing in my life. The door opened, and Ji-hoon walked in. Sorry to interrupt, but we have a situation. The softness in Junwoo's expression vanished. What situation? The Han family made a move, hit one of our warehouses, took out 3 of our men. They left a message. Give us the Black Queen or we take her. Serafina's blood ran cold. Black Queen? It's what they're calling you. They see you as my weakness, my queen that can be captured to win the game. That's both offensive and weirdly flattering. It's a death threat. Ji-hoon's voice was hard. Neither is happening. Junwoo's voice was absolute. Double security on all operations and prepare for war. War? Serafina's voice came out smaller than she'd like. They've made their intentions clear. The only response is complete elimination. He turned to her. This is what I meant about choosing this world. It's not metaphorical, it's literal warfare. How many people are going to die? As few as possible. But the Han family has made their choice, and I've made mine. His smile was cold. They want to use you as leverage? They're going to learn that threatening you was the last mistake they'll ever make. Ji-hoon cleared his throat. There's more. They've identified Ms. Brooks's best friend, Jasmine Williams. They sent her flowers with a note. Tell the Black Queen we're coming. Serafina's heart stopped. Jasmine. They're threatening Jasmine. We've had someone watching Ms. Williams since yesterday. She's safe, but she deserves to know what's happening. She deserves not to be dragged into this at all. With me. Except that she's important to you. And that's enough to make her a target. The weight of it crashed over Serafina. This wasn't just about her anymore. I need to see her, need to explain. That's not safe. I don't care. I'm not going to let my best friend be terrified because men with guns are suddenly watching her every move. Junwoo studied her, then nodded. Fine. But we do it my way. Controlled environment, multiple exits, full security. Where? My house. Neutral territory. Security I control, and comfortable enough for a difficult conversation. He looked at Ji-hoon. Arrange transport for Ms. Williams. Make it clear we're not threatening her, we're offering protection and answers. 2 hours later, Serafina found herself in a car with Tai Yang, heading toward Pacific Heights. The house turned out to be a mansion. You live here. It's home. Security is tight, but try not to feel like you're in a prison. The house was stunning. Modern architecture with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the bay, expensive art, and enough space to house several families. Junwoo met her at the door, dressed in dark slacks and a black shirt with the sleeves rolled up, the tattoo on his neck visible. He looked every inch the dangerous criminal he was. He also looked devastatingly handsome. Welcome home, he said. This isn't my home. Not yet, but it could be. Before she could respond, another car pulled up. Jasmine emerged, looking confused and frightened. Sarah! Jasmine's eyes widened. What the hell is going on? That is a very long story. They settled in what Junwoo called the informal living room. Jasmine sat across from them, her eyes moving between Serafina and Junwoo with growing concern. Start talking, Jasmine demanded. Serafina took a deep breath. 15 years ago, I was in love with someone. He disappeared, I thought it was over, and I spent the last decade and a half trying to move on. That someone was him, and he didn't just disappear. He left to keep me safe from the criminal organization he's part of. Jasmine's eyes went wide. Criminal organization, you're joking. I wish I was. Let me get this straight. Your ex, who you've been mourning for 15 years, is a criminal? And now he's back, and suddenly I have scary men following me? Yes. Jasmine looked at Junwoo. And you, what do you have to say? That your friend saved my life 2 days ago, and because she did, because she matters to me, a rival organization has decided she's a weakness they can exploit, which makes you, as her closest friend, a target. His voice was matter-of-fact. The men following you aren't a threat, they're protection. This is insane. Yes, but it's also reality, and I'm offering you a choice. Accept my protection until this is over, or we can arrange for you to leave the city temporarily." Jasmine laughed without humor. "Leave my home because of some gang war? It's not a gang war. It's—" Junwoo paused. "Actually, it is. And you're collateral damage unless you accept help. Some help." Jasmine looked at Serafina. "Girl, what are you thinking?" "I've changed," Junwoo said quietly. "And because I spent 15 years building the power to make sure no one can ever threaten her again. I failed her once, I won't fail her twice. Pretty words from a criminal. True words from someone who loves her. I know you don't trust me. You shouldn't. But trust this. I will burn down half of San Francisco before I let anything happen to Sarah. And that protection extends to the people she loves." Jasmine looked at Serafina. "You believe him?" "I don't know. But I believe he believes it. And right now, that's the best I've got. That's a terrible foundation for a relationship. Good thing we're not in a relationship. We're in undefined, complicated territory. With death threats." "With death threats," Serafina confirmed. Jasmine was quiet, then sighed. "Fine, I'll accept the scary bodyguards, but if anything happens to her, criminal organization or not, I will find a way to make your life hell." Junwoo's lips twitched. "I believe you." As Ji-hoon arranged for Jasmine's transport, Serafina walked her friend to the door. "Are you okay? Really okay?" "No, but I'm choosing this anyway. Maybe that makes me crazy. It definitely makes you crazy. But I haven't seen you this alive in years." Jasmine pulled back. "Scared, yes, but alive." After Jasmine left, Serafina found Junwoo on the terrace. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. "Your friend is terrifying," he said. "She's protective. So am I." He turned to face her. "Sarah, I need you to understand something. This war with the Han family, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Are you sure you can handle that?" "No, but I'm sure I can't go back to the life I had before. Not now that I know you're alive. That what we had was real. It was the most real thing in my life." She turned to him. "Show me." "Show you what?" "This world you're asking me to be part of. The truth of who you are. I've spent 15 years imagining what happened. Show me the reality. You might not like what you see. Probably not. Show me anyway." He studied her, then nodded. "Okay, but remember, you asked for this." He led her through the house to a door that opened to stairs leading down. The basement was pure function. Concrete floors, reinforced walls, and enough weapons to arm a small military. Computer monitors showed security feeds, and maps of San Francisco covered one wall. "This is our war room, where we plan operations, track rivals, coordinate security." Serafina walked along the weapon wall. "How many people have you killed?" "Directly, 7. Indirectly, through orders, more than I can count." "Do you regret it?" "Some of them. Others? No. The world is better without them." "That's a dangerous philosophy." "I'm a dangerous man. This is what you're choosing, Sarah. Not romance and flowers, blood and decisions that keep you up at night." She reached up, her fingers tracing the tattoo on his neck. "What does it mean?" "Eternal love. I got it 3 months after I left you. A reminder of what I'd lost, what I was fighting to return to. That's either incredibly romantic or incredibly obsessive. Both. I told you, the way I love is excessive. Show me." The words came out before she could stop them. He pulled her against him, and when he kissed her, it wasn't gentle. It was 15 years of longing and regret and fierce possession. Serafina kissed him back just as fiercely, her hands fisting in his shirt. She poured everything into it, her anger, her hurt, her stubborn refusal to stop loving him. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Junwoo rested his forehead against hers. "I love you, I never stopped. And I know I don't deserve another chance, but I'm taking it anyway because the alternative is losing you again, and I can't survive that." "You don't know that." "Yes, I do. Because I didn't survive it the first time. I just existed. And then you walk back into my life and suddenly tomorrow matters, because I want a future with you. That's a lot of pressure. I know, but you asked for honesty. The honest truth is that you're it for me, Sarah. You always were." She should step back, should be rational. Instead, she kissed him again. "I must be out of my mind." "Probably, but at least we're crazy together." A phone buzzed. Junwoo checked it, and his expression went cold. "What?" "The Han family just hit another operation, killed 2 more men, and they left a note. Clock's ticking. Give us the Queen." I'm starting to really hate that nickname. I'm starting to really hate the Han family. He pulled out his phone, making a call. "Ji-hoon, gather everyone. It's time we went on offense." As he spoke in rapid Korean, Serafina looked around the war room and realized this was her life now. She should be terrified. She was terrified, but she was also done running. The war room filled quickly with men in expensive suits, each carrying an aura of controlled violence. They looked at Serafina with curiosity and wariness. This was the woman their boss had upended his world for. Junwoo stood at the head of the table, transformed from vulnerable to commanding. The Han family has made their intentions clear. They think they can use threats and violence to force my hand. They think they can take what's mine. His eyes swept the room. They're wrong. A murmur of agreement rippled through the men. We're done playing defense. Ji-hoon? Ji-hoon pulled up a digital map. The Han family operates primarily out of 3 locations: their casino in Chinatown, their shipping warehouse at the docks, and their restaurant in North Beach. Take out these 3, and we cripple their infrastructure. Do it simultaneously, Junwoo ordered. They won't expect us to hit all 3 at once, and make it clean, no civilian casualties. What about Han Sung-min himself? Leave him to me. The man who ordered the hit on Sarah deserves a personal touch. Serafina's stomach churned. She'd asked to be part of this world, but hearing it discussed so clinically made it terrifyingly real. When? Tomorrow night. Give them one more day thinking they have the upper hand. Then we strike. Junwoo's eyes found Serafina, and Sarah stays here with triple security. I want to argue, but I'm smart enough to know when I'm a liability. You're not a liability. You're the most important thing I'm protecting. One of the men snorted, earning a sharp look from Ji-hoon. But Serafina understood. To them, she was the weakness that had caused this trouble. I know what you're thinking, she said, addressing the room, that I'm the reason your boss is putting you at risk, that if I wasn't in the picture, none of this would be necessary. Silence greeted her words. You're probably right, but I'm here anyway, and I'm not going anywhere. So you can resent me, or you can accept that I'm part of this now. Either way, I'm not backing down. Something shifted in the room's atmosphere. The men exchanged glances, and their expressions changed from wariness to something like respect. The Black Queen has spirit, one of them said. Perhaps she earned the title. She earned it by being brave enough to love a difficult man and strong enough to stand in a room full of criminals and hold her ground, Junwoo said quietly. Anyone who has a problem with her can leave now. No one moved. Good. Then let's get to work. The next 24 hours were the strangest of Serafina's life. She called in sick to work, while Junwoo's house transformed into a military operations center. Men came and went. Weapons were distributed, plans refined with terrifying efficiency. Serafina tried to stay out of the way, but Junwoo insisted she remain in sight, which meant she witnessed every planning session, every tactical discussion. You're being very quiet, Junwoo said that evening, finding her on the terrace, processing, trying to reconcile the man who kissed me yesterday with the man who just spent an hour planning how to destroy another human being's entire operation. They're the same man. I wish I could separate them for you, make it easier. But I can't. The violence and the love, they're both part of me. I know. That's what I'm processing. That's more than I expected. Don't give me too much credit. I'm still terrified. Good. Fear keeps you careful. Careful keeps you alive. Is that how you've survived this long? That and a healthy paranoia. And now, a desperate need to stay alive so I don't leave you alone again. Before she could respond, Ji-hoon appeared. It's time. Junwoo's entire demeanor changed. He turned to Serafina, cupping her face. I'll be back before dawn. Stay inside. Stay with Tae-yang. If anything happens, there's a panic room on the 2nd floor behind the painting of the mountains. Nothing's going to happen. Probably not. But if it does, I know. Be careful. Always. He kissed her forehead, then her lips, quick and fierce. I love you. The words caught. You don't have to say it back. Not until you're ready. I've waited 15 years. I can wait longer. Then he was gone, taking half the men with him. Serafina found herself in the war room, watching the security monitors. Tae-yang stood nearby, silent but alert. Does it ever get easier? Watching them leave for whatever they're doing? No, but you learn to trust they'll come back. And when they don't, then you honor their memory and continue the fight. He glanced at her. But Mr. Kim, he survived worse than this. He'll come back. He has too much to lose now. The minutes crawled by. Serafina tried to distract herself, but her mind kept returning to Junwoo and whatever violence he was currently enacting. At 11:47 p.m., one of the monitors showed movement at the perimeter. Tae-yang's posture went rigid. That's not our people. Serafina's heart jumped. What? Stay here. Tae-yang was already moving, speaking rapidly in Korean into his radio. But before he could reach the door, it burst open. 3 men poured in. Serafina recognized the lead one from photos. Han Sung-min himself. The Black Queen, finally. Tae-yang moved between them, weapon drawn. You shouldn't be here. And yet I am. Kim thought he could attack my operations while leaving his queen undefended. Foolish. He didn't leave me undefended. 1 guard, against 3 of my best men. Han laughed. What happened next was chaos. Tae-yang moved with lethal grace, taking down 1 man immediately, but the other 2 were on him instantly. Han moved toward Serafina, pulling a weapon. Kim loves you? Good. Then you're my leverage. Something in Serafina snapped. 15 years of being afraid, it all crystallized into rage. She grabbed the nearest object, a metal statue from the side table, and swung it at Han's head with every ounce of strength she possessed. The impact was sickening. Han stumbled, his grip loosening. Serafina ran for the weapons wall. Her hands closed around a handgun. She'd taken a firearm safety course years ago. She turned to find Han recovering, murder in his eyes. You'll regret that. Probably. She raised the weapon, her hand steady despite her racing heart. But not as much as you're going to regret breaking into this house. You won't shoot. You're betting your life on that assumption. They stared at each other. Behind Han, Tae-yang was still fighting, blood on his face, but standing. The sound of vehicles screeching to a halt outside broke the standoff. Car doors slammed. Voices shouted in Korean. Han's expression shifted from confident to concerned. The door burst open, and Junwoo stormed in, weapon drawn, Ji-hoon and 6 others behind him. His eyes swept the room, Tae-yang bleeding but alive. Han cornered, Serafina holding a gun with shaking hands. Sarah, put the gun down. He tried to take me. I know, and I'm going to handle it, but I need you to put the gun down. Please. She lowered the weapon, and Junwoo gently took it from her hands. Then he turned to Han, and the transformation was terrifying. You came into my home, attacked my people. Put your hands on her. Junwoo's fist connected with Han's jaw, sending him sprawling. Take him, Junwoo ordered his men. Alive, for now. As they dragged Han away, Junwoo turned to Serafina. She was shaking, adrenaline crashing through her system. I'm sorry. I couldn't get to the panic room and he was coming for me and I just... He pulled her into his arms, holding her so tightly she could barely breathe. You were magnificent, terrifying and magnificent. But please, God, never scare me like that again. He broke in. How did he break in? Inside help. Someone in the organization betrayed me. They'll be dealt with. But right now, all that matters is you're safe. Tae-yang, we'll be fine. Medics are already on the way. He pulled back, studying her face. You hit Han Sung-min with a statue. I did. You drew a weapon on the head of the Han family. I did. You stood your ground instead of running. I did. I told you I'm done running. His laugh was short but genuine. The Han family is going to regret threatening you. Is that a compliment? It's a fact. You're not the naive girl I left 15 years ago. You're a warrior. I'm a nurse who got very lucky with a metal statue. You're my queen. And tomorrow all of San Francisco is going to know what happens when someone threatens you. The rest of the night was a blur. Medics treated Tae-yang's injuries. The traitor within the organization was identified, and Serafina didn't ask what happened to him. By dawn, the house was secure again. The Han family's operations had been successfully disrupted, and their leader was being held awaiting whatever justice Junwoo deemed appropriate. Serafina found herself back on the terrace as the sun rose, exhausted and wired simultaneously. Junwoo joined her, 2 cups of coffee in hand. Couldn't sleep. Can't turn my brain off. She accepted the coffee. I keep replaying it. But I did. And he is. And you're safe. That's what matters. Is it over? The war? Not yet. But it will be soon. He was quiet. Sarah, what you did tonight, standing your ground, fighting back, it changed something. My men saw you not as a weakness to protect, but as someone who belongs in this world. I'm not sure that's a compliment. It is. In this life, respect is earned through strength. You earned theirs tonight. She set down her coffee, turning to face him. What happens now to Han? What do you think should happen? The question surprised her. You're asking me. You're the one he tried to take. You have a say. What do you want? Serafina thought about it. The nurse in her wanted to say mercy, but the woman who'd been threatened, who'd watched men try to hurt people she cared about. I want him to never threaten anyone again. I want him to pay for what he did, but I don't want to be the one who orders his death. That's not who I am. Fair, then let me be who I am. He threatened you, tried to take you. In my world, there's only one response to that. Death. Justice. For you, for my men he killed, for everyone he's harmed. This isn't revenge, it's necessity, she wanted to argue. But looking into his eyes, she saw the truth. In this world, there was no other way. Okay, but I don't want to know the details. You won't be. This is my burden to carry. You've been brave enough. They stood together as the sun rose higher. A new day, a new chapter. Serafina had chosen this, chosen him, chosen a life that was dangerous and complicated, and nothing like the safe existence she'd built. And somehow, despite everything, it felt right. I love you. The words slipped out. Junwoo went very still. Say it again. I love you. I'm terrified, and I'm probably making a terrible decision, and I definitely need therapy after all this. But I love you, I never stopped. His kiss was devastating. When they finally broke apart, he rested his forehead against hers. I'm going to spend the rest of my life making sure you never regret saying that. That's a big promise. I'm good at keeping promises. When they matter, and you, Sarah, you're all that matters. She kissed him again, pouring 15 years of longing into it. When they pulled apart, the sun was fully up. What now? Now we finish this war. We eliminate the threat. And then we figure out what forever looks like, together this time. Forever is a long time. Not long enough. I had 15 years without you. Forever barely makes up for it. That's excessive. That's love. He kissed her again. Get used to it, she laughed. I'm going to try. They stood together, watching the city wake up. Two people who'd been broken and lost, finding their way back to each other. It wasn't a fairy tale, but it was theirs, and that was enough. 3 weeks later, Serafina stood in Junwoo's mansion. She still couldn't quite call it home, examining the fading bruises on her arm. Physical reminders of the night that had changed everything. The Han family was gone. Not just defeated, eliminated. Junwoo had been thorough. Han Sung-min himself had disappeared, and Serafina hadn't asked for details. What she did know was that she'd been offered a choice: return to her old life or stay here with Junwoo. You're thinking too loud. Junwoo's voice came from the doorway. I can hear your brain from downstairs. I'm trying to figure out what comes next. And? He moved behind her, his hands settling on her shoulders. And I don't know. I love you. That's not the question. But I don't know how to be both the woman I've become and the woman you need me to be. I need you to be exactly who you are. Strong, stubborn, brave. The woman who hit a crime boss with a statue, but also the woman who saves lives and keeps me human. That's a lot to ask of one person. I'm an excessive man. You knew that getting into this. His smile was slight. But Sarah, you don't have to give up who you are. I'm not asking you to quit your job or change your life. I'm asking you to let me be part of it. Your world and my world don't mix well. They do if we make them. Keep working, keep saving lives. But come home to me at night. Let me give you security and protection. And in return, keep me honest, keep me human. Remind me that there's more to life than power and violence. That's a heavy responsibility. You've been carrying heavy things for 15 years. Let me help lighten the load. His thumbs brushed her cheekbones. I'm not asking you to be my kept woman. I'm asking you to be my partner in everything. Partners? Equal say in decisions? Equal say in anything that affects us both. You promise? No more disappearing for my own good? I promise, no more unilateral decisions. We face everything together. She wanted to believe him. Okay, but I'm keeping my apartment. As a backup, just in case I break your heart again. Just in case I need space, or time, or a reminder of who I am without you. I love you, Junwoo, but I won't lose myself again. I wouldn't want you to. Keep the apartment, keep your independence, keep anything that makes you feel safe. Then we have an agreement. They shook hands, and Serafina felt the weight of what she'd just committed to settling over her. 2 months later, Serafina was back at SF General, working a night shift. She'd returned gradually, first part-time, then full shifts. Her colleagues noticed she seemed different, more confident, less likely to take nonsense from difficult patients. Jasmine theorized it was because she was getting some quality time with her mysterious boyfriend. She wasn't entirely wrong. Dr. Martinez pulled her aside during a break. Brooks, you've got a visitor. Says he's family. Serafina's heart jumped. Describe him. Tall, Korean, expensive suit. Looks like he could buy the hospital. She found Junwoo in the waiting area, looking perfectly out of place. What are you doing here? Missing you and bringing you dinner, since I know you never eat properly on night shifts. He held up a bag from her favorite Korean restaurant. You remembered. I remember everything you tell me. He moved closer. Can you take a break? She should say no, but instead she nodded. 20 minutes. They ended up on the roof. Serafina's secret spot. The city spread out below them. This is dangerous, you know. Someone could see us up here. Let them. I'm tired of hiding what you mean to me. Your world and my world are the same world now. Sarah, stop thinking of them as separate. You're not two different people. You're one woman who's brave enough to live in both spaces. She ate in silence, processing. Jihoon asked me to dinner next week. Said his wife wants to meet me. She does. Mina's been asking about you since the night you hit Han with the statue. She's impressed. That a woman would be violent. That a woman would be brave. He moved closer. She grew up in this world too. Understands what it means to love a man whose hands aren't clean. And what does it mean? It means accepting the darkness while celebrating the light. It means understanding that sometimes violence is necessary. It means loving the whole person, not just the easy parts. That's what you want? No. I want someone who sees the darkness, acknowledges it, but chooses to love me anyway. Not because of what I do, but despite it. Because of who I am when I'm with you. Serafina set down her food. Who are you when you're with me? Hopeful. For 15 years, I went through the motions, built power, eliminated threats, survived, but I was never hopeful, never believed in anything beyond the next day. And then you walked back into my life, and suddenly, tomorrow matters. Because I want a future with you. June, I'm not proposing, not yet. I know you need time, but I'm telling you where I stand. I'm all in, Sarah. Completely, excessively, but all in. She should be scared. Instead, she kissed him. I'm getting there. Not all in yet, but getting there. That's enough. That's more than enough. They broke apart at the sound of the roof door. Dr. Martinez stood there. Brooks, we've got a multi-vehicle accident coming in. Need all hands. On my way. She straightened her scrubs, then looked at Junwoo. I have to go. I know, save some lives. I'll be home when you're done. Home. He said it so casually. Maybe it was. The accident was bad. 3 cars, 6 patients, 2 critical. Serafina fell into the familiar rhythm of trauma care. Lives hung in the balance and everything else faded. This was who she was, a healer. When it was over, all patients stabilized. She stood in the supply closet for a moment, just breathing. Her phone buzzed. Junwoo, I can feel you thinking from here. Stop second-guessing. Come home. She smiled despite her exhaustion. Home. When had his mansion become home? Somewhere between the death threats and the kissing, between the fear and the love, between the woman she'd been and the woman she was becoming. Her apartment sat empty now. She still paid rent, still kept it as her safety net, but she hadn't slept there in 6 weeks. Home was where Junwoo was. She found him waiting when her shift ended, leaning against a car that cost more than her yearly salary. You didn't have to pick me up. I wanted to. Plus, I have news. Good news or bad news? Depends on perspective. The last of the Han family's allies have been persuaded to align with us instead, which means the territory is unified under one organization. Yours. Ours. What's mine is yours, Sarah. That includes the business, the resources, the power. I don't want power. I know. But you have it anyway. My men respect you. My allies know your name. You're not just my partner, you're the Black Queen. She should protest. But the truth was more complicated. I hit a crime boss with a statue. You did. I drew a weapon, meant to use it. You did. I've stood in your war room and listened to plans for violence without flinching. What does that make me? Strong, adaptable, brave. It makes you exactly who I always knew you were. A partner who can stand in the darkness without losing her light. That's a generous interpretation. It's the truth. You save lives during the day and come home to a criminal at night. You hold both truths without breaking. If that's not strength, I don't know what is. They drove in comfortable silence. When they reached the mansion, Junwoo helped her out with gentleness. Sleep. I'll wake you for dinner. She should shower first. But the bed looked so inviting, and Junwoo's arms were already around her. She fell asleep to the sound of his heartbeat. She woke hours later to the smell of food and voices. Downstairs, she found Junwoo with Jihoon and a woman she didn't recognize. You must be the famous Black Queen, the woman said warmly. I'm Mina, Jihoon's wife. I've been dying to meet the woman who managed to tame Kim Junwoo. I haven't tamed anyone. You made him wait 15 years and then hit his enemy with a statue. I'd call that taming. Mina laughed. I hope you're hungry. Junwoo said you don't eat enough, so I may have gone overboard. The evening passed in laughter and stories. Mina had grown up in the organization. She understood the violence, the danger, the complicated morality. The key is to keep your own identity, Mina said. Don't let the organization define you. Ji-hoon is who he is, and I love him for it. But I'm an art dealer with my own gallery and my own life. We overlap, but we're not the same person. That's what I've been trying to figure out. How to be with him without losing myself. You don't lose yourself by loving him. You lose yourself by forgetting you're whole without him. From what I hear, you've never forgotten that. You didn't wait. You lived. I survived. Same thing sometimes. Mina raised her glass. To strong women who choose complicated men and refuse to apologize for it. After they left, Serafina found Junwoo on the terrace. Thank you. For tonight. For Mina. For understanding what I needed. I told you I pay attention. He turned in her arms. You needed to see that this can work. That you're not crazy for choosing this. Am I crazy? Probably. But I'm crazy too. We match. She laughed. We really don't. I save lives. You take them when necessary. I know. Does that bother you? It should. But I've seen enough violence in the ER to know that sometimes people don't leave you a choice. You either fight back or you die. You've chosen to fight. That's survival. And I understand survival. He kissed her then, slow and deep. When they broke apart, he rested his forehead against hers. Move in with me, officially. Not as a temporary thing. Move in, and let's build a life together. I still have my apartment. Keep it. I don't care. But make this your home. Make me your home. I know I'm asking a lot, but I'm asking anyway. Choose me, choose us. She should think about it. Instead, she heard herself say, okay, okay, okay. I'll move in officially. Build a life with you. But you have to promise me something. Anything. No more secrets. No more disappearing for my own good. We're partners, which means we face everything together. Partners. In everything. Even when it's hard. Especially then. I'm not leaving again, Sarah, not ever. You're stuck with me and my excessive love and my criminal empire. That's a lot of baggage. You're worth it. You've always been worth it. Worth waiting for. Worth fighting for. Worth building a life around. That's excessive. That's love. Get used to it. She laughed against his lips. I'm trying. Try harder, because I'm planning to spend the next 50 years being excessive about you. 50 years? At least. I lost 15 years. I'm not wasting another minute. They stood together watching the sunset, two people who'd been broken and lost finding their way back to each other. It wasn't a fairy tale. It was better. It was real. And it was theirs. 1 year later, Serafina stood in the master bedroom adjusting the simple gold necklace Junwoo had given her. The pendant was a delicate Korean character, the same one tattooed on his neck, Yongwonhan Sarang, eternal love. Through the window, she could see San Francisco Bay sparkling. A year ago, she'd been terrified of this view, this house, this man. Now, it was home. Her phone buzzed. Jasmine, dinner still on for tonight? Marcus wants to meet the infamous crime lord boyfriend properly. 7 p.m. Tell Marcus Junwoo promises not to threaten him this time. That was one time. Serafina laughed. Excessive was Junwoo's default. She found him in his office, reviewing documents. Jasmine and Marcus are coming for dinner. I'll behave. Probably. Definitely. She perched on his desk. Marcus is a literature professor, not a threat. He looked at you like you were a poem he wanted to analyze. That's literally his job. She leaned forward, kissing him. And I'm not a poem. I'm a woman who's chosen her excessively possessive boyfriend and is asking him nicely to play nice. When you put it that way, his hands settled on her waist. Fine. I'll be charming. You're never charming. Intimidating, yes. But charming. I charmed you. You wore me down through sheer stubbornness and inconvenient love. But she was smiling. He pulled her onto his lap and she went willingly. This had become their language. Touch and closeness. I have something for you. It's not my birthday. It's Tuesday, that's reason enough. He reached into his drawer, pulling out a small box. Serafina's heart jumped. Junwoo, it's not a ring, not yet. He opened it to reveal a key. Ornate, clearly old, distinctly Korean. It's a key to the safe in my office. The one that contains everything important. She stared at it. Why? Because you're my partner. In everything. Which means you should have access to everything. If something happens to me, you'll need this. That's a lot of trust. You've earned it. He placed the key in her palm. The combination is your birthday. The passwords are variations of your name. You're woven into every part of my life. This is just making it official. She looked at the key, feeling the weight of it. This was more than access, it was complete trust. Thank you for trusting me, for letting me in. Thank you for staying, for choosing this life, even when it scared you. I know it hasn't been easy. Easy is boring, and apparently I have terrible taste in complicated. His laugh rumbled through his chest. The best terrible taste. They sat together, and Serafina marveled at how far they'd come. I'm thinking about stepping back from some of the more dangerous operations. She pulled back to look at him. What? Not retiring completely, but delegating more, letting Ji-hoon handle the riskier aspects. I'm not getting any younger, and I've spent enough years in the line of fire. Maybe it's time to let the next generation take over some of the burden. Why now? Because I have something to lose now. Before, if I died, it would have been tragic but inconsequential. But now? Now I have you, and the thought of leaving you alone again, I can't do it. You're not invincible. Even if you step back, there's still risk. I know, but I can minimize it. Can build a life that's less about violence and more about whatever we want it to be about. I want to grow old with you, Sarah. Want to have boring Tuesday dinners and watch you save lives and come home to you every night. That's unexpectedly domestic. I'm full of surprises. So what do you think? I think you should do what feels right, but don't step back from me. Do it because you want to. I want to, and I'm ready. 15 years of this life was enough. Now I want to actually live. With you. She kissed him. Okay, let's build that boring domestic life. With the occasional death threat to keep things interesting. Just occasional. I'm being optimistic. I love your optimism, almost as much as I love you. Almost? The love is slightly more, but the optimism is a close second. They stayed there until the doorbell rang. Serafina smoothed her clothes and they went downstairs together to play host and hostess. Normal, domestic, safe, everything she'd never thought she'd have with him. After they left, Serafina and Junwoo cleaned up together. She washed, he dried, and they moved in comfortable synchronization. That wasn't so bad. You only threatened him once. He suggested you worked too much. He wasn't wrong. That's not the point. You work as much as you want. No one gets to judge that. My excessive, possessive boyfriend. Your excessive, possessive, deeply in love boyfriend. He pulled a small box from his pocket. Serafina's breath caught. I said it wasn't time yet, and I meant it. This isn't a proposal, not officially. It's a promise. A promise that when you're ready, when we're both ready, I'm going to ask you properly. He opened the box to reveal a stunning diamond ring with a black pearl at its center. It's gorgeous. It's a placeholder, for when you're ready for the real thing. He slipped it onto her right hand instead of her left. But I wanted you to have something tangible, something that says I'm serious about forever. Forever is a long time. Not long enough. I had 15 years without you. Forever barely makes up for it. She looked at the ring, catching the light. This was real. This life they were building, this love that had survived separation and pain, it was real and it was hers. I'm almost ready. Not quite there yet, but almost. Almost is enough. I can wait. I'm good at waiting for you. They stood together in their kitchen, in their home, in the life they'd built. The boy who left and the girl he destroyed, the man who returned and the woman who chose to stay, the criminal and the nurse, the darkness and the light, together finding balance in the impossible. I love you, she said. I love you too, excessively, possessively, eternally. Eternal love, she translated, touching his neck tattoo. Eternal love. That's what this is. What we are. What we've always been, even when we were apart. She kissed him again, and in that moment, everything was exactly as it should be. Complicated, messy, perfect, theirs, and it was enough. More than enough. It was everything.